Hello YouTube. So today is another day and we're working again on this 2000 Ford Explorer, and I got the driver's side cylinder head off. Previously I had just removed the intake manifolds, the upper and lower. So I'll show you what it takes to get the cylinder head off. So I did have to take the fan off and the alternator bracket. You can see it just went. Alternator bracket just mounted in those 4 bolts. That was a 15mm head bolt, and then this water pump, the fan, was difficult to remove. I've discovered they sell a special tool, but if you just take the belt and this alternator off, you can fit some vice grips on the pulley and then get a 12-inch adjustable wrench and stick it on there and hit it really hard with a hammer, and then it will unscrew. And it's got regular right-handed threads. And so then after that, just disconnect a bunch of hoses and wires, and then you have a terrible mess of hoses and wires everywhere. And the cylinder head, next you have to take the exhaust manifold bolts off. I used a 13mm wrench to do that. There's 2, 4, 6 of them. And then to get the cylinder head bolts out, well, before you do that you have to take the valve cover off. And the valve cover was, I think, 8mm headed bolts, and there were 6 bolts, 2 at the corner, 2 in the middle, 2 at the end. And then inside you see some Torx bolts, which are the cylinder head bolts. And you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you take all T55 Torx bolts out, and they're super tight, so you need a maybe 3-foot long breaker bar. And then a lot of people think that you have to remove all of the water pump and the timing chain cover and all that, and it turns out you do not. But you do have to remove that little hole right there. See, there's a bolt in there, and it was a really small Torx, something like a T20. And let's see if you can see. There's another bolt. Huh. Oh, no, the tensioner. Yeah, the tensioner went on here. So you have 1 bolt and then the tensioner. And then that's screwed in. I took that out with the crescent wrench. And what else? And the timing chain sprocket was on the front here. And I cut a very small little groove with the angle grinder and the pulley to try to align it. But it turns out that the sprocket is not keyed to the camshaft, so I will have to think of some other clever way of marking those together. I have not figured that out yet, so if anyone has a suggestion, that'd be great if you will write it in a comment. And no, I don't want to buy any special tool or anything. So, and the cylinder looks okay. This is a cast iron block with aluminum cylinder heads, and definitely the cylinder heads are extremely cracked. So I'll show you that. So that's good, I guess, because I didn't do all this work for nothing. Oh yeah, lastly, there was 2 bolts. I looked, and they're really deep in there. I don't know if you can see it, but see that hole right there? There's one, and there's well, there's the other one right there. So those are an E12. It's a backwards and inverted Torx, and that's difficult to get to. But it'll fit if you have a 3/8 drive, and you take those 2 bolts out, and then that's the last 2 bolts hold the cylinder head on. And that's the main thing. So now I'm going to show you the cracks. Yeah, there's the fan, and you see how it has threads on the nose. But anyway, see, I don't know if you can see that. See right between the valves in the middle, it's cracked. They're all cracked. Maybe it doesn't show up too well. But it is. And let's see, maybe in here I put the parts. Well, here you can see how the alternator mounted. And I want to show you the sprocket bolt. Oh, here it is. Okay, see that sprocket and the bolt in the... So this bolt went, you know, right in here, holding on that chain. And see, I don't know if you can see it, but I grinded a little mark here next to the 00, and the bolt has left-handed thread, so to get this out I used an impact, but later I'm going to go to the junkyard, so I'm not sure exactly how to get this off over there. So I'm going to be thinking about that. And then I thought perhaps the driver's side and the passenger side cylinder heads are the same, but they actually are the same, but one of them has this shut off with a freeze plug, so it's probably best to just get a left side and a right side cylinder head, which is unfortunate because it's more difficult to get this one off. See how it's really cramped? And there's the chain and the nut, and wow, it's really cramped back there. And here you can see that one bolt that I took out. And then when you get that bolt out, I don't know if you can see, but probably can't see. Anyway, way deep down in the crevice, just behind that plastic right there, that's where the E12 nut is. So anyway, well, let's hope we can get this going. Lastly, I'll tell you, this cylinder was totally full of water, so the other one's not as much, but all the cylinders of the head were cracked, so we need a new head. Need 2 new heads, I'm sure, if it's that badly cracked on the driver's side. For sure it's cracked on the passenger. Okay, until next time.